Right now, we have more indicators than ever showing that Bitcoin is in its bull cycle. It is clearly a bull market. I also like the fact that in a bull market, Bitcoin's at 10K. I like a 10K Bitcoin, and we'll discuss why here in just a little bit. But think about this for a second. We are in a bull market. A lot of other coins are showing more growth, okay, more excitement and more potential to become rich than Bitcoin. There are coins out there to where you can make $625,000 for your contribution. That's right. If you happen to be a coder, if you happen to be some sort of a hacker, and you have the ability to track things like Monero, Zcash, or any other privacy coin out there, if you can break the code and track those coins, the IRS will pay you $625,000 to track those coins. I mean, it's like, how do you make how do you protect that, right? How do you tell the blockchain engineers and blockchain developers, say no to that money, don't go to that money, don't do that to your communities? $625,000 is a lot of money. But listen, we're going to talk about the whole bull cycle, and I'm also going to mention to you guys, I feel like everyone's putting their sights on the wrong target in this current bull cycle. So we're going to talk about the targets I think are the right targets to set your scopes on to hopefully take advantage of what's happening right now. But most importantly, make sure you smash subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, the whole 9 yards, because you know how these centralized platforms like YouTube feel about this kind of content. I don't know about you guys, but last week we kept seeing tweet after tweet. I don't know, just people after person talking about, oh, Bitcoin is due for 11,000. Bitcoin's going to hit 20,000 at any moment now. Bitcoin's going to go crazy. Is anyone else getting exhausted on that Hopium? I mean, I feel like, you ever seen a whole bunch of like drug addicts sit together in a circle and talk? And when they sit there and they talk, they keep talking about all these magical, wonderful things that could happen, but they never actually materialize because they're actually pretty unrealistic, right? Especially given their current situation. I feel like that is what's happening to Bitcoiners and the community. It's like a big circle of people that are, I don't know, high on Hopium, that their mindsets are all stuck on some very unrealistic goals, right? Because they're not, I don't know, properly positioned to even do anything about it. I don't know. It's just, is anyone else on that same wavelength as I am? Because it's very annoying. I even put a tweet out about this, and a lot of people agreed and some others didn't. I said, I'm happy with a 10K Bitcoin. It's still semi-affordable for the average Joe to make an entry. Once Bitcoin hits 20K and beyond, it will no longer be people's currency. It will be Wall Street candy. And I do believe that. I do believe that the point that Bitcoin exceeds 20K, exceeds 30K, maybe goes up to 100K, it's something that everyone's going to sell. And I do mean this. Think about this. All your Twitter influencers, your YouTube influencers that have a lot of Bitcoin, they have a price in mind, that where they're willing to sell that Bitcoin and cash out. There is a price in mind. It's above 10K. It's probably above 20K. But when that price is achieved, I can guarantee you their goal is to extract as much USD as value as possible out of that Bitcoin. They're going to sell out. They're going to make a shit ton of money, and you'll never hear from them again. There'll be no more Hopium. I wonder what will happen to the Bitcoin community and when that happens. Like, is it going to cause like this massive panic or I don't know, is everyone going to die from withdrawals from this? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. But at some point, all the biggest shills in this space have a number where they're going to sell out. They're going to sell out. They're going to live their lives. They're going to be rich. You know what I mean? And there will not be any room for new breed of wealth in this space because it's going to be so damn expensive. That's just my thoughts. But listen, getting back on track to the fact that Bitcoin is in a bull market right now. We are in a bull market right now. There's only 2.5 million Bitcoin left to mine, right? Price of Bitcoin should be a lot higher, but it's not. But something to keep in mind is the biggest purchaser of Bitcoin right now is Grayscale. They're also the largest purchaser of freshly minted coins. Right? They love Virgin Bitcoin. Virgin Bitcoin right now actually is sometimes even bought at a premium, where it's paid. When I say a premium, some entities will pay 1% or more above market just to have freshly minted coins. Virgin Bitcoin that has no paper trail, has no history to it, those are actually favored amongst your big institutions. But 2.5 million are left. I am willing to bet you that at the rate that Grayscale is buying that of the Virgin coins, that on a long enough timeline, they will probably own 50 to 60% of that 2.5 million Bitcoin that's left to mine. I'm willing to bet you, because there's nobody on the retail end that has the cash flow necessary to go and buy that much Bitcoin. We can't compete with the institutions. They're buying, they're hodling, and they're controlling. And I'm not saying it's just terrible, terrible news. I think it's adding the stability of 10K during this bull market. Now, I want to show you something else. Bitcoin sets a price record for the most days above 10K. Okay, this is a record that's been set. And this is huge. The most days above 10K. And I gotta tell you, it's nice to see this. I actually do think that entities like Grayscale and the way they're buying contribute to this. I like to see Bitcoin go a little higher some days, but realistically, a 10K Bitcoin is where you want to be. But seeing that we're setting records right now, Bitcoin is in a bull market, and I can only think of one thing that can disrupt the price of Bitcoin right now, and that's that CME gap that's still open at 9,600. When that one will get plugged, no one knows. But the worst thing that can happen right now is the price of Bitcoin unexpectedly jump to 20K to 30K to 40K. Something crazy and parabolic like that. If it goes in a straight line, guarantee you it's going to crash to 9,600 or even below that. I'm telling you, that $9,600 gap is something that I still find troublesome, because we didn't close it at 9,800. We got close, but we didn't close it. And many expected that gap was actually going to close whenever the Bitcoin price, whenever the KuCoin got hacked, $150 million hack. And what I find even very entertaining about this hack is these guys hacked KuCoin and stole Tether, a centralized stablecoin asset controlled by Bitfinex. I can't remember how many millions they stole of it, but why would you steal a centralized coin that can be shut down on you at any moment? It just doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? It's like either these guys are incredibly smart or incredibly stupid. But the thing that we need to focus on is the price of Bitcoin was completely unfazed by this. It had zero impact on this, which again is another solidifier that Bitcoin is in a bull market. But here's the question. Here's the question you should ask yourself. Okay, so Bitcoin, we can clearly establish, is in a bull market right now. Very clearly. Is it the best coin right now to put your money into, to take advantage of a bull cycle, to make a ton of money? Now, I'm no financial advisor, and this is not any financial advice, but I could tell you that Bitcoin this year has actually acted more of a stable asset, in my opinion. Yes, I know it does still have volatility. I know it has volatility. There's still enough volatility where we can make money off of leverage trading, which is, also high risk. But just in general, the price points that it has been hovering in has been, in my opinion, almost more of a stable kind of asset, especially in the cryptocurrency world, right? In our world, Bitcoin has been relatively stable. I don't see it as that instrument of, hey, I'm going to go in here, put some money in there, and hopefully make some serious profits off of. I don't see that happening anytime soon, but there are things out there that offer that potential. But before we get into that, I want to highlight something real fast before we talk about making money. The IRS is not fucking around right now. There's no better way of me saying this. They are not fucking around right now. They have been setting up more and more traps to get people who are trying to evade taxes right now as far as cryptocurrencies. The United States IRS is not the only entity that is working diligently to find ways to close loopholes and find ways to force people to pay their taxes. Okay? This is something that happens on a global scale. You got to realize these agencies work together. They strategize together. They figured out, years ago by doing so, the whole idea of offshore accounts, keeping your money in foreign accounts, is not as powerful when they have interagency cooperation. So this is something that's going to impact everyone globally, especially if your country is harsh on cryptocurrencies. But to throw salt in this wound, let me move myself out the way. Meanwhile, the IRS is forging ahead with other crypto compliance measures. Earlier this month, it offered rewards up to $625,000 to code breakers who can crack so-called privacy coins like Monero that attract illicit activity because they claim to be untraceable. It's getting real, guys. It's getting real. I don't have any confidence that any code breakers right now can track Monero, especially as fast as they constantly update and they try to stay in the loop of what's going on. So I have a feeling that with $625,000 can easily double to 1.2, even 1.5 eventually. I have a feeling that once it breaks that seventh digit, though, once this reward breaks that 7th digit, somebody from the blockchain side, some blockchain engineer is going to say, hey, I got the answer. I'll show you how this is done. You get what I'm saying? It's really frustrating. But the thing is we all have to remember that compliance is actually the best way to go. One more thing before we dive into the things that you should be keeping your sights on right now as far as the bull market. One more thing I want to warn you about. I'm seeing more and more of these kind of things pop up. This is from CoinDesk. 3 years after its $257 million ICO, decentralized data storage provider Filecoin has said its mainnet will go live in mid-October. I am seeing a lot of these 2017 entities that made monstrous amount of money then went silent. All of a sudden starting to make some sort of a noise right now. Be very cautious with those projects, okay? Not saying every one of them is a scam. Not saying every one of them has something dishonest about them. But what I'm trying to say is it's very, very sketch. Very, very sketch right now to go and revisit the projects that made hundreds of millions of dollars in 2017 that went silent after making that money, okay? They took your money and then went silent. So be careful about a lot of those projects who are claiming to be all of a sudden reinvigorated and ready to rock and roll. Okay, so the thing I feel a lot of people right now are not putting their sights on, especially properly, is DeFi. Now, I understand that I've said to people before that if you are just learning about DeFi, it's too late. And then to a lot of ways, that is true. Right now, the TVL in DeFi is $11.2 billion. Your opportunity to make a shit ton of money off of things like Curve, Wi-Fi, and various other coins like that, it's pretty low, to be honest. But I'm not saying it's impossible. Okay, I'm not saying it's impossible. See, these DeFi products are offering many different other insurance layers and various other lending layers, more financial products, okay, inside their ecosystems, which is giving more opportunities for people to make money again. Okay, so I mean, don't go to sleep on those kind of things. And yes, some of these coins are actually worth having right now. I really do believe that they're really worth having right now. And I want to show you something just for this month. Okay, look at this. This is the top 10 DeFi projects by the total TVL, total value locked. Okay, so we've seen Sushi Swap. I actually have a challenge for you. Say Sushi Swap. Okay, I want you to say that 10 times as fast as you can. I dare you. I actually messed this up 3 times on this little recording. But anyhow, you have Sushi Swap, okay, who's new at 372 million. Balancer is down 69% in September, and it kind of shocks me because there's a lot of entities that utilize the Balancer pools that are pretty profitable. Haka is one of those actually that utilizes Balancer. Now Synthetics is down 34% in September. I'm not surprised about Synthetics actually going down. There's not enough of your bigger DeFi entities. There's not enough, how can you say, cross-pollination happening with Synthetics. I can see this one actually going down even more in August. Yearn is down 1%, and simply because it's so damn expensive that a lot of your normies haven't even really been touching it. Compound always goes up. Compound is actually a favorite right now of many institutions. Yearn is actually just starting to become a favorite of institutions. Wrapped Bitcoin. This is actually something I have not done enough of. I have not utilized enough of WBTC to earn rewards, but basically you can actually, it's kind of like a DeFi solution for those that have a lot of Bitcoin, and I have honestly not been utilizing that the way I should, but it is up 127%. Curve up 21%. That doesn't surprise me. Curve has been like the staple, the cornerstone of DeFi. Aave down 1% in September. Not really a big deal. Again, it has to do a lot with the price. Then of course we have Maker up 32%, and then Uniswap. Look at this, up 75%. And I have a feeling Uniswap is actually, I bet you in August, wouldn't surprise me if in August Uniswap gains another 50 to 75% as far as TVL. And the reason for that is I stay in the loop with a lot of projects right now that are in the construction phase that have the debate to themselves. Do we go ahead and go in a centralized exchange, or we just go straight to Uniswap? When they go in Uniswap, of course, they're going to add some liquidity to it to support the coin. I suspect you're going to see Uniswap in August probably touch between $3.5 and $4 billion. Now, I could be wrong, But just based off of what I see right now, I have a feeling $3.5 to $4 billion just based off of the amount of projects who want to utilize it over a centralized exchange. So if I had my sights out on something right now, if I had to put my sights on things that I feel like, okay, I need to pay closer attention to, I need to find ways maybe to get a bag or even look at ways to participate, it's definitely going to be DeFi. It appears to be trying to go in its own direction separate from where all your other altcoins are going, because it's like the bank, right? Where you have the banks, then you have your businesses, you have new ecosystems, and then Bitcoin, I don't know, it's like the currency. I feel like it should be part of all those ecosystems. That's a whole different conversation. But I feel like not enough people are paying attention to DeFi as far as places to position yourself right now. Now, before I jump off this video, Definer is one of these kind of products right now. It's up and coming. I talked about this on one of my previous videos. So this is a good example. They have a beta test over here if you want to see the working product they have, where you can play with it, figure it out. You just have to tie your MetaMask to it, and by tying your MetaMask, you can play with it, get an idea of how it works. But Definer, I'm telling you, is one of these other ones that's going to be a good up-and-comer. That's a good team, good strategy, a lot of good potential. Let's put it this way. I think the fundamentals are strong with this one. Okay, when I say that, I mean this is one of those things where I think a lot of people can position themselves the right way to make decent amount of money. And again, this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just my opinion. Okay, so take a look at things like this and listen. That's all I got for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Peace out.